Welcome to El Regnum channel. If you are new to this channel, please do not hesitate to click subscribe and hit the notification bell for you to be more updated of the coming videos.
God through the mouth of one of his prophets had spoken concerning the exact duration of time for the revival of life. Prophet Hosea stated that, "After 2 days will he revive us. In the 3rd day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight." Hosea chapter 6 verse 2. Christ had made such pattern that after 2 days, like what had happened to Jesus, who suffered death and was buried in the tomb, he was resurrected on the 3rd day. Since 1 day of God is 1,000 years of man, according to what is written in the book of St. Peter that says, "But, beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that 1 day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is 1 day." 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 8. So with this fact, the equivalent of 2 days of God is 2,000 years for man. So the fulfillment of Christ's promise about the revival of life should only be done right after the consummation of the 2,000 years. In Latin it is called as Consummatum est, which meant, it is finished, or it is done. Since the 2,000 years were already consumed from the time of Jesus Christ, therefore the following year, which was the year 2001, was the exact time of the quickening spirit of the last Adam, to revive the life of man for eternity. The 3rd day of God, that also comprises 1,000 years, had started in the year 2001, an opening time with the last Adam in the New Mesopotamia. The year 2001 was also the beginning year of the 7th day of God, or the 7th millennium, in his 2nd week, in which God through his Christ will reign in 1,000 years until in an endless ages to come. The revival of life in the 3rd day of Christ, which is also the 7th millennium of God, is now gradually happening. The revival of life should be given when the last Adam becomes the quickening spirit, and it was fulfilled in the year 2018, personified by the supreme founder of the kingdom of God, His Majesty, Supreme King Philemon Ondak Rimbonanza. The Father from heaven, who comes in flesh in this world, has become the quickening spirit in order to fulfill the prophecies. One of it is the prophecy that God's Spirit will be poured out upon all flesh. So what will happen to all flesh that received the Spirit of God? The natural body will transform into a spiritual or heavenly body, meaning the mortal and corruptible body will be changed into an immortal or incorruptible body. This is the essence of achieving everlasting life in the 7th millennium of God, that is 1,000 years from the year 2021 to the year 3000. In short, we had already entered in the last day of God for the millennial reign of his Christ. God's chosen people in the whole world will only be the recipients of the revival of life through the Son of God, the Christ, who comes in the flesh, so that all who see the Son and believe on him will have everlasting life. For it is written, "And this is the Father's will which hath sent me, that of all which he hath given me, I should lose nothing, but should raise it up again at the last day. And this is the will of him that sent me, that every one which seeth the Son, and believeth on him, may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up at the last day." John chapter 6 verse 39 to 40. The Father's will to give everlasting life is through the Son. God, being the Father, testified for his Son, and the Son testified for his Father. The Father and Son relationship is an infinite bond that no one can break apart. But the Father is always greater than the Son, as testified by Jesus Christ in the book of John chapter 14 verse 28. In the history of kingship in the kingdom of God, while it was in Israel before, any man who was chosen by God to be the king of his people was reputed as the Son of God, the Anointed One. Just like King David, God called him as his firstborn son, higher than the kings of the earth, and God is David's father, as stated in Psalm chapter 89 verse 20 to 27. But when the days for King David were fulfilled, his son, Solomon, took place the kingship, and sat upon the throne of the kingdom of God over Israel. God made King Solomon to be his son, and God his father. The kingship in the kingdom of God highly described the father and son relationship. The son is the real heir of the throne of his father. Among the children of God, there is always a firstborn son, whom in him, the Father gave and entrusted his kingdom, judgments, and righteousness. For it is written, "Give the king thy judgments, O God, and thy righteousness unto the king's son." Psalm chapter 72 verse 1. The king's son, when holding the responsibilities in the kingdom of God, and whose authority is from the Father, from God, and not from a man, must be honored, for the king's son, being a prince, is also a king, as what God said, "Are not my princes altogether kings?" Isaiah chapter 10 verse 8. The kingdom of God is a true kingdom, and not a religious organization. Therefore the king's son who leads the kingdom, is a real king to be honored and respected, for the Holy Scriptures stated, "Submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for the sake of the Lord, whether it be to the king, as supreme. Honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear God, honor the king." 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 13 and 17. We must remember that the kingdom of God is not in word, but in power.